All right, let's go. All right, so first off, welcome everyone to Intro to AI Product Management. As Rich mentioned, this is part of a 3-week kind of workshop. So we'll go ahead and get started. First off, a little bit of background on me, just for context. So I spent about 8+ years in product management, mostly in SaaS. Worked across digital marketing, e-com, and the content creator economy. Currently, I'm a senior product manager at Clover, which is a point of sale systems company. I work on the retail vertical, and prior to that, I was at a company called Social Native that connected brands with content creators on Instagram and TikTok. And that there I helped kind of transform a traditionally managed service into more of a self-serve solution. Prior to that, I was at a company called Neptune Retail Solutions, and I was working on a whole suite of scaling digital promotion platforms. And most recently, I've been actively experimenting with AI through side projects. This is on my YouTube channel called Product by Kel, which is also available on Instagram, TikTok. I have my portfolio site on there as well. Yeah, and that's kind of where I just document everything that I learned and am still learning about AI. All right, so intro to product management. First off, we're going to take a clarity first approach. This AI space is flooded with hype and buzzwords. So my goal over the next 3 weeks is to really help people strip all that away. We're not going to be talking about robots or AI assistants that are building their own social network. We're here to talk about how businesses are actually using this technology to solve real problems and generate revenue today. Um, Number two, no engineering background required. So this is a major kind of point of anxiety I hear all the time. No engineering background is required. Yes, you do not need to know how to code to lead an AI product, but you need to know how to manage it. So just like how you don't need to be a mechanic to be a world-class race driver, you don't need to be a data scientist to be a world-class AI PM. You just need to know how the engine responds to your inputs. And then lastly is really understanding the role and the next steps. Finally, our focus is on understanding the role and choosing the next steps. So at the end of this 3-week program, my goal is that you will know exactly what an AI PM does day to day. And more importantly, you're going to have a roadmap for your own career, whether that's pivoting at your current company or you want to switch careers completely, or just choosing the right training or boot camp to land a new role. At Product Gym, for example, we're about getting results, but also accountability. So we'll go ahead and get started. All right. Why does AI product management feel so confusing? If you've ever felt overwhelmed by the AI space right now, you're actually in the right place. And it's understandable. Like everything that you see on Instagram, in the news, it seems like there's new things coming out, not just every week, every day, every hour. And a lot of stuff is moving very quickly. That confusion is not a reflection of your ability, it's a reflection of how the industry is currently behaving. So there's three main reasons why AI PM feels like a moving target. First of all, the term AI product manager is used inconsistently across companies. So, for example, at a startup, an AI PM might be building a simple chatbot using a third-party API. If you're at a larger tech company such as Google, an AI PM might be working on the core research for new model. So when you're looking at the market, you're not comparing apples to apples, which is why here we focus on the skills, not just the titles. The second is the job titles also hide very different responsibilities. So you're going to see product manager roles that are actually data science roles in disguise, or you'll see AI PM, and those roles are actually just standard UX roles mixed with some project management. And part of what we also teach here is how do you read between the lines? How do you know what to look for in a job description so you don't end up just in a role that doesn't match your career goals? And then finally, marketing hype often replaces real explanations. Right now, it's this weird time. Everything's moving very quickly. We're living through a gold rush. Every company is adding .ai to their domain name, but very few are actually shipping products that are solving real problems. And back to my original goal of, okay, this workshop is going to help you cut through buzzwords like AGI and focus on what are the product fundamentals that actually drive value for a business. All right, so let's start with what stays the same in AI PM. Before we talk about the AI part, we have to talk about the PM part. So whether you are thinking about changing careers, in the middle of changing careers, or you're a veteran PM, the foundation of this role never changes. So it's built on four pillars. Number one is the intersection. So as a PM, you are the connective tissue. You're going to sit at the center of user needs, business goals, and technology. And I really like this image that I have on the right here, this Venn diagram where, you don't have to be the best graphic designer, UX designer. You don't have to be the best engineer. You don't have to be the best salesperson. But as a product manager, you kind of sit in the middle and you have to have skills from all three of these. The number one key is communication, being able to wrangle all these teams together and make sure your product is built the way you want and make sure you have adequate testing. So, um, if you're coming from sales, you know the business. If you're coming from support, you know the user. And PM is where all those different worlds collide. Second is the problem first mindset. And this is where most people get AI wrong. So a lot of people start with, okay, how can we use ChatGPT? And that's more of a solution looking for a problem. So here at Product for example, we teach you to start with, okay, what's the user's pain point? AI is just a newer, faster tool in your toolbox to solve it. So don't fall in love with the tech, fall in love with the problem. Third is the art of the trade-off. So you are designated the decision maker. You're going to be constantly balancing cost, time, and quality. But now in AI product management, you're now going to add model accuracy to that list. So in traditional software product management, the code works or it doesn't. Now with AI, you have to decide if 85% accuracy is good enough for it to ship. And that is more of a business decision and not just a technical one. And then the last one here is success equals business outcomes. As a PM, you're not a feature factory, right? We don't care about how many AI bots you ship if you don't move the needle. So are you increasing revenue? Are you saving the team time? Are you reducing churn? If the AI that you're leveraging doesn't create measurable value, then it's just a really expensive science project. And we're here to build products that work for the bottom line. So let me go ahead and pause there. I know that was a lot of information to take in and just to see if there's any questions or anything that needs some clarification. All right.
I got a question.
Yep.
Yeah. So is that Molt book? Is that real? Like, or do you think it's a bunch of bots that are just building off of each other?
I mean, I haven't done enough research myself to check it out. I mean, it could be a lot of hype, but I need to dig deeper into it. I mean, I can see how it's very possible.
Yeah, man. Da, 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 da. Yeah, no questions or comments so far. You guys, let's get some interaction going, yo. Like, it's so serious. Kel is here for y'all, you know.
And if not, I could just keep going. There's a lot of material to
No, no, keep
cover,
going, keep
so
going, keep going, keep going.
all
Yeah.
right. So, oh, I got these animations here. Whoops. Anyways. All right. So now we know what stays the same with AI. Let's see what changes with AI. Okay. So to understand AI product management, you have to understand, you have to understand the shift from deterministic to probabilistic. And I like to use a simple analogy, which is the difference between a train and a self-driving car. So first, the AI outputs vary even when inputs stay the same. I'm going to say it one more time, which is the AI outputs vary even when inputs stay the same. So think of traditional software like a train. It stays on fixed tracks. If you put it in Go, it's going to arrive at the same station every single time. Now, that is considered deterministic. But an AI model is like a self-driving car, like this Waymo. Even if you give it the same destination, the route might change based on the environment. There might be traffic. There's might be some roads closed. If Granny is crossing the street, it's the data that it sees, and it's making a best guess in real time. That's considered probabilistic. So as a PM, you're not just managing a fixed track, you're managing the car's ability to navigate the road. Second, the product quality depends on data quality and availability. So continuing with this analogy about the car, um, if the car, we'll leverage this as the AI, has bad sensors or blurry maps or the camera's not working right, it's going to crash. In traditional PM, your engine is the code. In AIPM, your fuel is your data. So if your data is biased or outdated, your product's going to fail, no matter how good your engineers are. So you are now responsible for the fuel as much as you are the engine. And then finally is the system mindset. So PMs design systems, not one-off features. You aren't building just a steering wheel, you're building the entire navigation system, the sensors, the feedback loop that tells the car it's drifting out of its lane or it's making a wrong turn. In this bootcamp, we're moving away from thinking about features. We're learning how to build more resilient systems that can handle the uncertainty of the real world. So let's dive into the types of AI products. The first one at the top, we have AI assisted products, and these are the most common ones in the market today. These are products where AI improves on an existing workflow. For example, Gmail, its core product is email, but it has features like AI Smart Compose, which helps you generate a sentence. We have Figma, and that's primarily for designs and prototyping, but Figma also has Figma Make, which leverages AI to help create high fidelity prototypes by feeding it prompts. We also have Adobe Photoshop. Core value there is photo editing, but the AI can also do generative fill based on a prompt to generate images and edits. In the middle is the AI first products, and these are different. This is where AI is the product. So this is the ChatGPTs, the Claudes, the Perplexities. These all fall into this category. Basically, they live or die based on AI. If you remove the AI, there's no product there. And then lastly are the AI platforms. These are usually not consumer facing, but they provide the AI capabilities to other teams or developers. So you have OpenAI's APIs. You have Hugging Face, which is a library where data scientists and PMs go to find and host open source models. And then you also have Google Vertex AI, and that allows big companies to build and scale AI apps. So if you get a PM role with these particular platforms, for example, that's going to be more platform or infrastructure oriented. One important takeaway is even if a job title says AI product manager, most roles today are actually going to be on the first bucket right there, which is the AI assisted products. Understanding which category you're in is going to help you set the right expectations for the role and also the skills that you need. Um, Core AI concepts PMs must understand. So in order to lead an AI team, you don't need to be the one writing the code, but you must understand the kitchen where the product is cooked. And these are the three concepts that are going to dominate your daily meetings with engineers. And I really like this analogy with the chef and the kitchen. I've got, Gordon Ramsay here. So we'll start with the first one. Models generate outputs, prompts shape behaviors. So think of the model as GPT 5.2, which is the latest model right now for ChatGPT. Think of that model as a world-class chef who graduated from every culinary school on earth. They are incredibly capable, but they don't know what you want for dinner yet. The prompt is the recipe or specific instructions that you give to that chef. As a PM, you are the recipe designer. If the output is wrong, your first step isn't to replace the model or the chef, it's to refine the prompt. So think about it as you're moving away from writing requirements to more of writing intent. You are guiding the behavior of an intelligent system. The second is training improves models, inference serves users. So this is more the business side of AI tech. Think of this as training. So training is the chef's years at culinary school. It's a massive upfront investment of time and money to teach the model patterns. So inference is like the dinner service. It's the moment a user asks a question and the model generates an answer. All those years of culinary training has led to this moment. So think of inference as that training that happens before you actually have the model put on the show. You have to manage the inference costs. Every time a user clicks a button, it's going to cost the company compute power. And you have to decide, is the specific AI response worth the 2 cents it costs to generate it? And the last concept here is RAG reduces hallucinations, but adds complexity. Even a world-class chef can't know what's in your personal fridge or home. If they try to guess, they hallucinate. So this is where RAG comes in, which stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation. Um, Basically, it's like giving the chef a pantry filled with your company's private, up-to-date data or ingredients, if you will. So before the chef answers, they're going to check the pantry first. They're going to check for the ingredients that they can work with. Same with AI and tech. It has to check the company's database. It has guardrails for which data it can pull from. And that's the secret sauce of enterprise AI. Your job is to manage the pantry. So if the data in your RAG system is messy or outdated, the chef is going to serve the wrong dish, or you don't have all the ingredients you need to make the right dish. So you're now also a curator of information. Okay. And then right here, we're going to talk about modern AI PM strategy. So we talked about the tech, we talked about the data. Let's talk about the strategy. How do you actually ship a product that users trust and the business can afford? And it comes down to these three pillars. First one is trust is designed through UX, not accuracy alone. So most PMs think the answer to a lying AI or a chef that's not doing what it's supposed to is to just make the model smarter or just replace it. But you're never going to reach 100% accuracy. Instead, you design trust through the interface. And I'll give you an example. So when you ask ChatGPT GPT or Perplexity a question, think of the references or the citations that you see in the response. By showing the user where that info came from, you're building trust even if the model isn't perfect. So think of it as moving from, hey, trust me, my answer is correct, to, hey, verify my answer is correct. The second in the strategy is human in the loop, and that primarily improves safety and adoption. This is a very critical term for your interviews. Human in the loop means that the AI makes a suggestion, but a human has to make the final call. So if you're building an AI to approve bank loans, you don't let the AI hit enter and proceed with the bank loan. You have to prepare the file as much as you can and prepare it for an actual human loan officer to review and make sure everything looks correct. So this is going to reduce the risk of the company, and it also makes the team more likely to actually use the tool. Now, the last one here is PMs balance quality against costs and latency. So this is the kind of iron triangle of AI. Quality is how smart is the answer? The cost is, okay, how many cents did that answer cost us to compute? And then the latency is, okay, did the user have to wait 10 seconds for it? And as for being a PM, you have to make that hard call. For that particular feature, um, you know, you may not need the smartest model, GPT 5.2 or Claude Sonnet 4.5 to summarize a short email. Maybe a smaller model is better because it's 10 times faster and 100 times cheaper. So those are some of the decisions you have to make in terms of choosing the right model for that particular feature or that task that you wanted to achieve. Okay. And then I just want to do a quick recap and kind of take a minute to zoom out and connect the dots. So today was all about, foundations, mental models, and we focus on what AI product management actually is, not just the hype version, but the real work. We also talked about how AI products differ from traditional software, why uncertainty is such a big theme, and also the core concepts PMs need to understand to be effective in this space. And I think the most important takeaway from today is that AI PMs are not model builders, they're system designers. So your job is to manage trade-offs around trust, UX, risk, cost, and reliability. And just to give you a glimpse about week two, we're going to make this a little bit more concrete. We're going to walk through how AI products are actually built and shipped in practice, from framing the problem to designing the prompts and workflows, and then also thinking about, okay, how do we evaluate that our product was a success? How do we continue to monitor and bring that knowledge back and have the AI continuously learn on its mistakes? Um, yeah. So week one, we gave you the language of the mental models. Week two is going to be showing you how this looks in the real world. And then you're going to start seeing how everything we talked about today connects to day-to-day life in AIPM. So that is what I have for you today. I'll go ahead and see if there's any questions. Or unless Rich, you have anything?
Give me a second here. Mm, I think we have some questions that's actually in the chat right now. Let's start off with uh Jeff, where are you calling in from, buddy? You said is it correct that RAG requires a lot of accurate training data?
Mm.
Hey, Richard
I,
Hickhill. Yeah, calling in from
hey,
Charlotte, North Carolina. How are you?
I'm
Boom.
doing great. How about yourself?
Yeah, doing well. Thanks so much. Appreciate the presentation and the information. Going back to your slide on the RAG, that's
Hmm.
something that's not super familiar to me, but um, I know just based on some coursework that I've done, a lot of these AI models require a ton of training data to be really accurate. I mean, is it correct that for RAG to be successful, you need a lot of training data based, feeding through that model.
Yeah, I think it really depends on the feature. Um, Obviously, the more data that it has, the better the model is going to perform. I like that you brought this up because I actually did a video on how I built a RAG chatbot. on my portfolio, and that was based on feeding the model the data on this is basically all I gave it was here's my resume, here's my LinkedIn, and here's my existing portfolio site. I want you to ingest all of this data, and now I want to create this chatbot that only answers questions about me. And based on just that data, it actually performed pretty well. I think the important thing there is to make sure the prompt has really good guardrails so it knows exactly what to answer and what not to answer. So it's kind of hard to answer this question because every company is going to be different and also each feature is going to be different, especially if it's like, a RAG chatbot that's going to answer about a ton of data for a data forward company, then yeah, that's going to need a ton of data. But if it's going to be more of a general chatbot for customer success, for example, for an e-commerce site that answers questions about, hey, yeah, I'm wondering where my order is. Can you give me a tracking number? Or, hey, I have a billing invoice I'd like to discuss with you. Then maybe that doesn't need that much data. It's more being able to pull the correct records and being able to match based on what that user is looking for.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, next question that I actually have is from Elaine. Always fun to go out there and chat with Elaine. Elaine, thanks for explaining AI product management foundations in plain, simple language, easily and in digestible bites. Um,
Thank
yeah,
you.
I mean, Cal, like, why do you think like it's been so like the process itself has been like so confusing?
Of jumping into AI product management,
Yeah,
I think because this big AI hype train, like everyone is just slapping AI on their job descriptions. Like I mentioned earlier, everyone's just slapping .ai into their domain name just to ride this train, but they're not fully fleshing out what exactly they're trying to solve with AI. So I think there's a little bit of confusion there. Which is why we really want you to focus on, okay, look through the details of the job description. Don't just look at the title, because a lot of companies actually don't really know what an AI product manager does. They just want to have that buzzword in there to attract more people to apply. So that's one reason.
got it. I actually have like a hand raise. Jeff, you can go ahead and talk, buddy.
Yeah, I want to jump in again. Thanks so much.
No.
Um, Kind of circling back around to that, what you just discussed. I was actually going to pop this question in the chat, but I'll ask it verbally. In some job descriptions, I see AI PMs. They want experience with using tools to just help you in your PM role, which I feel like is more of a, it could be, with workflows and things like that. But then there's elements of job descriptions that really lean heavily into LLM experience. Can you talk about maybe the difference between those two kinds of jobs and what that might look like day to day?
Yeah. So the second one was the LLM experience, and I'm sorry, what was the first one you mentioned?
The first one is kind of more of like, I think it's what tools do you use, what AI tools do you use in your day-to-day PM role? Probably thinking more along the lines of like a like a Bolt or a mixed UX panel, workflow, Figma, Mural, whatever, or Chat GPT to do research versus
Hmm.
LLM experience. Those feel like two very different quote unquote AI PM types of jobs.
Gotcha. Gotcha. I see what you mean. Yeah, so for the first one, it sounds like that's more asking, okay, are you using AI to basically enhance your typical workflow, right? Are you,
Hmm.
using ChatGPT or Gemini to help you write PRDs? Are you using
Right.
Lovable to help prototype? Are you using Figma Mate to prototype? Are you using other tools to generate stuff for presentations, for example? Are you using AI to also organize a lot of your priorities? So that's more of like, okay, is this person using it more as an assistant? On the other hand, what you mentioned about using LLM, to me, that sounds like you're leveraging an LLM to build something. So I'll use the RAG chatbot example again. So I leveraged for this particular model the OpenAI API to build a chatbot on my website. I leveraged Google AI Studio to build a YouTube starter kit website. Um, Being able to use N8N or Zapier, for example, to build an automation. So I think that that's kind of like the key difference that they're looking for here. Here is, did you use an LLM as a component of something that you built into bigger product that is your own product versus I'm leveraging AI tools to help with my day-to-day work.
Yep, got it. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Hmm.
There are the you are here in the Venn diagram did not include business. I did it.
I feel like it did.
I feel like it did too, but
It's there.
I was gonna say you are here, right smack dab in the middle of all that.
I mean, I guess the arrow's wrong. It should be a little bit lower in the middle, but yeah, we'll get that slide updated.
Okay. Any other questions for y'all? Well then, yo, thank y'all for our time. Cal, I'm gonna hit you up real quick right now.
All right. Thanks everyone for joining.
Thank you, people. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.